and welcome to Insight Private Wealth's quarterly investment market wrap. I'm Sam Stillone and I'm here once again joined with Dr. Steve Garth for an inside look into some of the conversations that have been taking place within the Insight Private Wealth Investment Committee. Steve, obviously we're both in COVID lockdown at the moment, but the investment committee has managed to meet over Zoom and we've completed another quarterly investment market review. What were some of the big themes that we saw over the last quarter?
The ASX 200 has returned 27.8%. Now, that's its best financial year return for 3 decades, since 1987. And as we mentioned before, the market continues to go up since 2009. So we're still in this very long bull run. The other thing, Sam, that we have seen in the quarter is got to do with 10-year government bond yields. Now, most people don't have an interest in bond yields and they don't move in percentages, they move in basis points. But you can see in the chart here that in the first quarter of 2021, those bond yields went up quite dramatically. But if you look at this quarter, you'll see those bond yields are coming down. And that's an indication that the market is now rethinking inflation, and it's thinking that inflation is probably going to settle around about where the RBA would like it, in their band of 2.5%.
So over the last 12 months, how have Australian share investments and other Australian investments performed relative to their international investments?
Yeah, so when you look at the chart here, the financial year returns of Australian equity, international markets and the emerging markets, and you can see that they've all had returns of between 27 and 29%. So those share markets around the world are benefiting from the rollout of the vaccines and the record government support that we've seen. The other 2 columns on the right there, Sam, represent the real estate investment trusts, and you can see that they're having a really strong comeback too. Obviously, they were hit hard during the pandemic, but the Australian Real Estate Investment Trust, that's the highest performing asset class that we've got on that chart.
So shares and other growth style assets have performed very well over the last 12 months. What has been the best performing sectors within the Australian share market over the last 12-month period?
Yeah, Sam, let's have a look at how the different sectors have performed. Now, no surprise to anyone, last year financials were one of the hardest hit sectors. They're really driving the Australian market. The other sector there that you can see that's doing really well is consumer discretionary. Now, that's essentially retail, and that's no surprise. When you look at the US market, Sam, and it's worth saying that while Australia returned nearly 30%, the US market returned just under 41% for the year. But again, look at financials in the US market, the strongest performing sector in the US. Now, of course, financials aren't as big a part of the US market as financials are in Australia, but you can still see they're really driving the performance. The other sector that is driving the US and has been for a number of years is the IT and communication sector. They went off the boil in the first quarter of 2021, but they've certainly come back in the second quarter of 2021 with strong returns.
Thanks, Steve. And for all our clients at home, we know that these are challenging times. While investment markets and your portfolio will have performed very well over the last 12 months, we're not complacent about this, but rather we're continuing to work remotely and we remain very much focused on your investments and financial well-being. Nevertheless, if you do have any questions about your investments or other financial matters, please contact us. We'd be glad to help.